Good morning, Prasokamai. It's Friday. So I'm coming by to say hello, first of all. I love you. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope that your week was even better. So I wanted to share something with you that's been on my heart probably for like 2 weeks now. And it just doesn't go away. So I just want to share. So I'm going to read from, and I've probably read from Psalm 24, I don't know how many times, but we're going to do it again today. So Psalm 24, verses 7 through 10. So here we go. Lift up your heads, O you gates, and be lifted up, you everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O you gates. Lift up, you everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Powerful. I know I get excited, but it really makes me, when I think about the glory of God and how much He loves us. So I've been thinking about glory, and I've been going back and forth, and I decided to look it up, not just in English, but also in Hebrew and also in Greek. And I noticed some differences when it came to these different languages. So I wanted to share that with you, because I thought you should know. So in English, glory, synonyms for it are fame, nobility, honor, kudos, praise, preeminence, majesty, grandeur, splendor. In Greek, it means opinion, whether it's good or bad, it's an opinion, judgment, view, splendor, there it goes twice, brightness, like in the sun, moon, and stars, magnificence, excellence, preeminence, that's 2, dignity, majesty, exalted. So then I came to the Hebrew. I was like, okay. And in the Greek, the word glory is doxa, D-O-X-A. In Hebrew, the word is kavod. And in Hebrew, it takes on a different, it has a different sense to it. The first thing that comes out first and foremost is the word, the kavod means heavy. It also has the connotation of dignity, respect, weighty. And I thought to myself, wow, kavod doesn't have as many synonyms to go with it, but it has a weight that is associated with it. And it's kind of, no pun intended, but I just thought it was a really interesting point that kavod doesn't quite have the same meaning that doxa and glory have. If you notice, there were a lot of similarities with the word doxa and glory, like majesty, preeminence, splendor. Kind of had the feeling of, you know, how those really big fancy movie stars are like, look at me. And I'm not at all doubting or making fun of what this is saying. But when you came to kavod was like just in your face about it. And I just thought that it was interesting that the word kavod isn't it. One person by the name of David Jaffe said that kavod is the external behavior mandated by and appropriate to the reality of inner holiness. What does all that mean? Well, as I further read this article written by Mr. Jaffe, I understood that kavod is the external. It's not what's inside. And It's a representation, like it's the external representation of the holiness of God. And I thought it was interesting because when Moses encountered God and his glory, his kavod, on the mountain with the burning bush, the first thing he did was take off his sandals and he fell to his face because of the heaviness of the presence of God. In 2 Chronicles 5:14, it says the priest couldn't work because the glory, the kavod of God filled the temple. Can you imagine that? Isaiah in chapter 6 fell before the presence of God in the throne room because of the holiness and the presence of God. The kavod was heavy. On the Mountain of Transfiguration was an interesting thing because in Matthew 17, Jesus completely transfigured himself into the glory of who he really is. And the disciples didn't quite, have the same response that Moses did. Except Peter was like, hey, I'm going to make a little house for all three of you because I see Moses, I see you, I see Elijah. And then God's presence came and the clouds opened up. And you know what happened? John, James, and Peter, they all fell to their face on the floor. And I just wanted to bring this thought to you. You know, God's presence is nothing to be handled lightly. God's presence, God's glory, God's holiness, because that's what it is. It's the external representation of his holiness. We as believers need to learn to handle it with care, because it is something that is precious, it is privileged, it's amazing. And I just wanted to bring that to you. This morning God is calling us to handle his glory with care, because he is God and there is no one like him. Ladies, be blessed. I hope you have a great day. Do something fun. Do something exciting. If it means you're going to put your feet in cold water on the seashore, do it. If it means you're going to go for a swing, go. Have fun. God bless. And remember, God's glory needs to be handled with care.